podcast about
What's
our crafty hot takes. Oh my god. What do we say?
Hi, welcome to Hot Cakes, the podcast for craft opinions that nobody asks for but everybody needs. I am Jules from Jules WIP Designs.
I'm Sarah from Boston Fiber Company.
And we are your hosts for Hot Cakes.
Yeah. Episode
4.
5
because HH Americas was episode 4?
Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
You'll notice that we sound so much better probably.
Yeah, we have mics.
We finally have mics.
Thank Jules for that one.
It
had nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but the mistakes of the past also had a lot to do with me as well. It wasn't entirely your fault.
Yeah, both ways.
it was both of our faults.
Yeah.
But we're good now. We have mics. Yay.
Here we are. Yay.
Yeah, do we have any admin? It's been like a month since we've even seen
each other. Yeah. So I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I haven't even checked our email. I don't know if we have any comments or
we
anything
do.
on the last.
I don't know if we have comments on the last video. I haven't checked. I have not
sorry
checked
if you
our email.
sent
I'm so
in a
sorry.
comment.
Look,
We'll get
I
you
got
next
back from
time.
Ireland yesterday.
Sarah is probably still a little jet lagged.
Yeah. I woke up at 3 a.m. Well, I slept really well last night. I will say
good.
I'm doing pretty well. But I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was like, where am I? I don't know what's going on. I had to like wander to the bathroom. I was like, I think I'm on drugs. Like, I don't know what's going on with me.
Oh no.
But now I'm here and I'm knitting.
But now we're here and we're gonna record the podcast anyway.
How have the last few weeks been for you? How has it been since H&H?
It's been okay. I did injure my thumb pretty badly.
Mm-hmm.
So knitting was a bit of a challenge for a couple weeks there. We're going on week 3 of thumb injury, and I'm back to knitting, but I still have to wear a Band-Aid because otherwise it'll like get in the wound. Sorry, it was a pretty gross wound, so we won't go into it. But
it's okay.
But yeah, knitting has been a little slower, but it's happening. It's happening. Things are happening. So that's good. And we can plug our stuff that's coming up later in the episode. But if you do want to leave us a comment, you're welcome to leave us a comment. We promise we will read it next time. And shoot us an email at hotcakescraftpod@gmail.com. You can also, I think, leave us a rating and a review on Spotify and or Apple podcasts.
On like literally everything.
Yeah, you can like and subscribe on YouTube. You can send us a little Ko-fi donation.
Yeah. We post clips on our Instagram.
So you can follow us there.
There's also a page on the Boston Fiber Company website that has links to everything.
So all of it. So everything hotcakes related is all on that page. Great.
We're doing it. We're talking about AI today.
It's a really hot topic, you guys, and it's going to make people probably very angry. But first, before we get into our topic, what are you wearing?
Yeah. I am wearing the Umbrio top. I did not remember to look up who designed it, but I really like it. It'll be in the show notes. It's in Great Adirondack Yarn Company organic cotton fingering weight, which we don't have any at the store right now, and we might not until like next summer, but it is, I will plug that it's really great. A single skein has like 500 something yards in it.
Whoa.
It's crazy. I think I used like a skein and a half to make this sweater, and it's like a little oversized. I do wish I bound off too tightly, and that is my only complaint about, and that's kind of my own thing. That
you could
has nothing to do with it. I could undo it.
Fix that if you wanted.
I'm not going to though. And anyway, and then I'm also, should I say what I'm working on or should you say what you're wearing?
I'll say what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
I'm wearing, again, for probably the 3rd time on this podcast, my Vialtina tank, which is my own pattern, designed by me, Jules WIP Designs. And it's in, what's the yarn?
It's Ritual Dyes.
Faye.
And
Dirty Water Dye Works Shimmer.
Yeah.
It's the mohair silk bases from those two companies. Held together to create this fun little orangey situation.
Very pretty.
Vialtina, that's out now. It wasn't out, I think, on the last podcast, but it is out.
Yeah.
It is out now.
I was gonna wear mine, but I got a new tattoo.
Show off the tattoo.
And I was like, mohair is not gonna feel good against
Next
that
to a
guy
tattoo.
next to an open wound.
It's so. I almost didn't wear it though because it's just so hot and muggy outside.
Yeah,
it's not even that hot. It's just like humid.
It's just humid. Yeah.
And it was so gross.
It was
like,
a real.
Walking here was gross.
It was a real shock to come from Ireland, where it was very humid, but in the 60s, 50s, 60s.
Humidity is different there too, because it's like almost like
it's like cold humid, and here it's hot humid. It feels
and it's also like misty. Okay, and what are you knitting?
I am making tattoo socks by some like cool designer I know.
It's me. I'm the designer.
Yeah. This is like the 40th pair I've made, and I'm making it in a mini skein set from Fibercat. So it's all non-superwash. You're gonna love this. Non-superwash and plant dyed. This is right up your alley.
I do love Fibercat. They're really cool.
I love them, and I'm trying to knit for my stash. And I had these minis from their trunk show here back in like February.
Amazing.
And so I brought it to Ireland with me. And this is going to be a big guess because I knit them on the plane and on a train, so I couldn't take off my shoes to measure. So
we'll see.
Yeah, who knows who they'll fit.
Hope they fit. Well, you can't really wear them.
They're not for me. So I'm gonna give them to somebody hopefully with like maybe a skinnier foot than I have. I have a couple friends.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, what are you making?
I'm also making tattoo socks, but mine have 2x2 ribbing
Pretty
on the top, and then they will have 2x2 ribbing on the whole leg. But I don't like having weird textures on the underside of my foot, so it's just plain stockinette.
I thought about doing like a little 2x2 rib on these, and then I forgot to do it, and now I'm not going to.
Right, because you start with the toe, and then you don't do it for the toe, and then you have to.
Yeah, and then I was just like,
and it is very hard to remember to switch, and it's you only switch on one half of them.
Yeah. So
and this is my own yarn. Actually, I believe it is my Highland Sport. Let me double check that. This is my Highland Sport.
What's in the kits for it that we sell? Sport?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can get it.
So you can get the kit. Yeah.
I mean, you can get it from Jules too.
It has this yarn. You can get it from the store or from me. Yes, I have kits as well.
I was gonna say, like, Jules makes more money if you buy it directly from her. So
it doesn't matter to me, whichever, wherever you want to get it. Well, you might have colors that I don't have. Yeah, I don't remember what the distribution of colors is.
They're on our website.
I don't think I have
order them.
This color at all. Do I? Do you have any red? This is dyed with red onion, which makes like a beautiful bright green. Do you have any red onion? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I don't know if I have any either.
I feel like I have like
that one sells out really fast because it's such a cool.
Yeah, it's a really pretty
color. And people are always shocked when I tell them that this bright green was dyed with red onions.
I love that.
But yeah, so that's so fun. We're both knitting socks. Socks are a good summer project.
They are good. The nice thing, like these are DK. They're going fast.
Yeah,
I'm doing a little stripey moment.
I like the stripes. That's fun.
Interesting. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, like literally, I cast these on Thursday morning. What day did I leave?
Yesterday morning.
Okay, Wednesday morning. I don't know what day it is. I was like lying on the couch this morning and I was like, is it Saturday?
Today is Friday.
I cast them on Wednesday morning because I had some like alone time. Yeah, anyway, I did most of these. I did like up to the color change Wednesday morning.
Wow.
And then did the rest on the plane.
Amazing.
And watched Murdoch Mysteries.
Amazing. You know we love.
There's a musical episode.
Stop it. I haven't watched it like at all in the last month.
That's really sad for you.
I know. I've been watching old episodes of Traders. The UK version.
Oh, yeah.
We can't get into TV. Otherwise we'll be here forever.
I haven't watched Traders. I do think it might be for me.
It's so good. You'd love it.
Yeah. Okay.
For those who are watching on video, we have our dunks again. We've got our dunks. We're back from Illinois, and we have our
Slancha.
I have my dunks in a fun little sleeve, a crocheted sleeve from my friend who's also named Jules at Salem Style. She makes these really cool crochet cup cozy cup holder thingies because I just really hate getting condensation on my hands, especially when I'm knitting. So, and when I'm wearing mohair because like wet and
it's gross.
So yeah, I believe it's like a cotton yarn, but it's really handy. So if you want a coffee cozy go to salemstyle.com,
Yeah.
I think. I'll put a link in the thing. But I just wanted to shout out Jules because she's cool and she's local to obviously Salem.
Yeah.
Salem, Massachusetts. So
Cool. Cheers.
cheers.
It is
Okay.
nice. I did have very good coffee in Ireland. I had a lot of Americanos.
Yeah.
And one of the days it was like 60. It wasn't super cold. And we went to Trinity. And there's like little coffee carts all over Trinity. It's so cute.
Yeah, I love Trinity.
I love Trinity a lot. I wish I went to school there.
They just divested from Israel.
I know.
Good job. Good job, Trinity.
There's a lot of Trinity's just really cool. I went to one of the carts and it was like in the 60s and I was like, "Oh, can I get an Americano, an iced Americano?" And they were like, "Aren't you cold?" And I was like,
"No."
I don't want to be like, "Yeah, I'm from New England." It's worse. I've had coffee colder. Anyway, it was great.
Okay, well, do you want to dive into our topic?
I would love to.
Let's talk about how much we hate AI.
Yeah. I actually think I hate it less than you.
Which I definitely probably do.
I mean, I don't like AI.
Yeah.
But I think I hate it less.
Since we last spoke, I've probably come around a little tiny bit on it.
Yeah.
Not really. The other thing is, I want to say, when I say AI for the majority of this podcast, I'm talking about generative AI.
Yeah.
Everything, I don't think people know what AI actually is. Like, everything is AI. Like, I wrote an AI program once in college for like a Connect 4 computer game.
Yeah.
So like AI is not, I'm talking about generative AI. Everything is AI.
Yeah.
Like algorithms, those are all AI. No, so I'm talking about generative AI. I'm talking about like writing content like from scratch using like ChatGPT or whatever, or like creating art or whatever. That's generally what I'm referring to here.
Yeah. Like, what I hate about AI is stealing art from artists, the environmental impact. But I don't hate when sometimes I use AI to write my email headings.
Okay.
The store.
So that's,
tell me what you think.
No, so that's a good point. So, okay, let's talk about, there are several main topics that I have highlighted.
Yeah, you have a paper with notes, and I am unprepared.
No, but this was my job. This was my job this week because you were abroad. Yeah. So yes, the environmental impact is a thing that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So AI uses a lot of water for the data centers to basically there's the indirect use of like cooling the system, and then there's the direct use of like actually like producing energy. So each prompt, do you know this fact? Do you know how much?
No.
Don't look at the paper. Do you know, like, each prompt of like 100 words ish? Do you know how many like ounces of water that uses?
No.
It uses roughly 16 ounces. So that's like, this is 16 ounces, right?
Yeah, or
roughly
20 or
it's
something.
Like,
yeah.
So like but like a normal sized water bottle that you could like buy in the store, that's 16 ounces. So it uses about 16 ounces of water for each like little prompt that you do. So that's like a lot of water.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, especially if every little prompt, like how many little prompts are happening every second.
Exactly. Right. So many people are using AI. So many people are doing multiple prompts every day. So there are an estimated, I'm going to read some numbers. There's an estimated 11,000 data centers around the world, and that is growing rapidly. So that's just an estimate because
there's probably more.
Probably already outdated.
Yeah.
Google's data centers use about 550,000 gallons of water per day.
Oh, geez, crazy.
A smaller data center uses about 18,000 gallons per day. In the US, the average like per capita water usage of just like people is 132 gallons per day. So basically Google is using as much water as like over 4,000 people per day.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
When you frame it that way.
Now. Yeah, and that's like a small town.
Yeah.
Right, like that's a town.
That's a town. 4,000 people is a whole town. And of course, this disproportionately affects certain locations.
Yeah.
Generally, they are less privileged people live around these data centers, and they just like don't have access to water. Like I've seen the video of like a woman like turning on the tap and just like little drips come out.
Yeah.
Like there's just no water.
Yeah, there's the one in Georgia that people talk about a lot.
Yeah, so that sucks. And it's hurting already marginalized folks, and that's not good.
Yeah.
To put the water usage into perspective, people probably don't, if you're very anti-AI, you probably don't want to hear this, but that is like so much smaller than like the livestock industry.
Yeah.
And the dairy industry. So yes, there are, when people talk about the water usage of AI, in comparison, other industries use a lot more water.
Yeah.
But, and like, yes, you can be vegan, you can avoid using the livestock and dairy industry. But ultimately, like, people do need to eat. So like comparing it to the food industry is a little like,
well, the food, yeah, and like the food industry is, well, even if you're a vegan, like the water used for farming, like
you still use a lot of water. You still use a lot of water.
Rice uses a lot of water.
Like
really
everything uses water. So like the argument that like it uses a lot of water is on one hand kind of like, well, yeah, everything uses water. But the thing is, we don't need to be using AI. We need food.
Well,
we need food and we need to drink water.
We could do food better.
We could do food better. We could do food better. But like we need food, we need to drink water.
Yeah.
We don't really need to be using AI.
Yeah. Especially not in the ways
that we are using it. So that brings me to my next point, which is using generative AI for admin stuff.
Yeah.
So like, coming up with your email headers, or like scheduling, or like the boring tasks that you don't want to do, like SEO or organizing. Like we recently had a little conversation in our business group, the Fiber Business Collective. I don't think you were there. You were in Ireland.
Been on a plane?
I think you were on a plane
or on a train. I was in something.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah. Anyway,
you were not in the country.
I did get the notification, and I was like, missing that one.
But it was really interesting because like using AI for those little things. Like a lot of people use AI for their business, for those little tasks.
Yeah.
That are kind of just admin tasks that don't really require any. They do require creativity, but it's not like.
But it's also
this isn't what you're selling. It's not, I'm not using AI to write my knitting patterns. It's like you're using it to write.
Yeah, and I would say headlines. Like my on a convenience level, because like personally, I'll be like, oh, well, I need to come up with like a cute email header, which I did learn at H&H to not do as much, to just be clear about things.
Be clear, not cutesy.
which is great, because now I can just send an email that says like sale exclamation point.
Here's what's happening.
Yeah,
all of my newsletters just say here's what's happening this week.
But the it is like nice to not have to think about that stuff, like the SEO stuff. Like
I'm terrible at SEO.
I'm terrible at SEO. And like Shopify just populates all of it
search
for you,
optimization
based on stuff. Yeah,
but so I think like for SEO or things that are kind of more algorithmic, it kind of is nice to have a computer tell you what to say. And you're right. Shopify will just, if you like click the button, Shopify will fill it in for you. And
it's like either I do it or I hire somebody to do it, or Shopify does it, which is just a nice.
And I think, so for those kinds of tasks and like scheduling, I know a lot of people use like AI calendars, like Motion, that tells you like how to optimize your productivity basally, and stuff like that. I tried Motion and I actually hated it.
I have too. I think I don't like
work for me.
I don't want a computer telling me what to do.
I get very defensive when they're like, it's time to, and I'm like, no. I do my own thing.
You can't tell me what to do.
And I also don't like using, I can't even use it to write my email headers, because it always comes out being like something I absolutely would never say. And so I'm just like, I can't use that.
I think I'm enthusiastic enough that it does work.
Yeah, mine is, I don't know. Mine just always sounds so fake. But so I think using, it's also like that thing that people are talking about, like we want robots to take over the boring tasks, like doing dishes and doing the laundry, so that humans have more time to create,
to do art. Yeah,
that's like the point. That's the point of it all. So like it's so dumb and weird to have AI do the art part.
Well, and also like,
and then we just are left to like rot our brains.
Well, and also like, it's bad.
It's not good. it's not good
And, like,
art.
I know that probably, but I don't even know if it'll ever get to a point where it's good because, like, there's something missing, right? Like,
Well, and so this is another thing. So, like, I keep seeing those videos of, like, famous movie scenes
yeah,
where it's, like, side by side the real scene and then, like, an AI version of the scene, and it's, like, shot for shot the same scene, but, like, one's with AI. And, like one, the AI one is creepy.
yeah,
It's bad and creepy and, like, an uncanny valley, but, like, even worse.
yeah,
So it's awful and I hate it. But also, how you can't have made that scene. You couldn't have just generated that scene. It
no,
only exists as an AI scene because of the original
Yeah.
scene was made by humans.
yeah,
So, like, you can't have fully computer generated art because what AI is just taking other art
yeah,
and repurposing it. So,
and, like,
it's
not doing a good job of it.
and doing a bad job of it.
Yeah.
So it's not original. You can never replace artists with AI because without artists, you don't have AI art. And also, anybody who calls themselves an AI artist that's bullshit. That's
Yeah.
not a thing. You're not making art. You're feeding a computer a prompt, and then
Yeah.
it's generating a mashup of
Yeah.
other people's previous art, and it's doing it badly. So, like, no, you're not an AI
Yeah.
artist. That's not.
Well, like, and there are artists who use digital tools to make
Yes.
art, which is good.
That's different. Yes.
I feel like there's you
there's
know,
a very, it's not, I don't know, it's not that fine of a line. Because, like, yeah, there are, like, brushes and digital
Yeah,
brushes and
and,
whatnot
like,
that, like, maybe were developed, like, using AI. There are ways of using AI to develop tools
yeah,
that then allow humans to make more art and
Yeah.
make
well, like,
better
so,
art.
like, I got a tattoo. My tattoo artist does it on her iPad,
Mhm.
and then, like, we were messing around with, like, colors and filling in stuff, and
Yeah.
that's AI, right? Like,
Right.
picking the thing and then, like, tapping the pen on the color and then
Right.
tapping it on the lines to fill in. That's
Yeah. Or, like, Photoshop. There
Yeah.
are, like, AI Photoshop tools. Like, I'll take a photo and I'll be like, ooh, the lighting's a bit off. So I'll
Yeah.
hit the, like, auto whatever, and
Yeah.
it'll auto, like, correct all the lighting and everything for me. And that's also technically AI.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as, like, going to ChatGPT and being like, hey, like, make a picture of me wearing my knitwear designs.
Yeah.
Like, that's not.
I mean,
There's
I
a
don't know if we
there's a
want to talk
big
about, like,
difference.
the Barbie in the room, but the Barbie,
The weird doll trends?
yeah,
I
that
don't like
sucked.
that. I don't like that at all.
I was not a fan. And, like, I did like also that there was kind of a backlash to it, and I saw a lot of
Yeah.
people being like, I'm an artist, here's a template, you can fill in
Yes.
yourself, or, like,
And it's
pay me to
so-
make it for you,
It's
or
so easy to fill in a template
It's
using
so
your
easy
own
to-
original work or using somebody else's
Yeah.
original work as the template and then filling
Yeah.
it in with your own original work. It's so easy.
And you know what you can also use AI for? You can, like, use one of those, like, Photoshop things to put, like, a picture of yourself and, like, have it cartoonize it.
Exactly.
And that's AI.
That is
but
also
it's
AI,
not-
but it's not just like generating a whole image from nothing, from a prompt, which
Yeah.
is stealing from artists' work. And I just think, yeah, it's just so silly to use AI. And a lot of people also make the argument that, like, well, I can't afford to pay an artist, which I get that. I can't
Yeah.
afford to pay an artist to, like, draw pictures, or I can't afford even photography right now for my own design. So I'm, like, doing it all myself.
Yeah.
But, like, that doesn't mean you have to use AI because there's so many other ways of doing it that are just as easy.
Yeah, like, there are so many options.
There's so many other tools available to you. There are ways of using it that are less harmful, I think. I personally just don't use any generative AI.
Yeah.
Other than I do use SEO. I use it for SEO. But, like, is that even technically generative AI?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it technically is, but it is just basically, like, I'm like, here's my product listing, summarize that.
Yeah.
Using, or, like, find the keywords. It's kind of like a word search. It's like, find the keywords and
Yeah. So, like, a product listing here will have, like, all these tags that are, like, whatever. Like, so, like, these are DK Merino, non-superwash, fiber cat, local,
right.
Friend owned, queer owned, blah, blah, blah. Those are all tags that I add in that
Right.
Shopify can't generate for me.
Right.
But also sometimes Shopify will, like, generate what colors the items are.
Oh,
so then you kind of have to go in and tweak that too.
it's really bad at natural dyes.
Yeah, I bet. Is it just, like, green?
No, because it doesn't even know. I'll literally say, well, so, like, this colorway is called red onion because it is.
Oh, so it'll say it's red.
So it's like, oh, it's red. And I'm like, no. And then, oh, I used logwood. And if you can get black from logwood if you like, you have to do stuff to it.
Yeah.
I just do purple logwood. That's like what you naturally
I feel
get.
like this might be logwood.
Yeah, you can get get grays, you can get blacks.
Yeah, it's like a charcoal.
But it was like, yeah, black. And I was like, no,
yeah,
it's purple. And yeah, it's really bad at natural dyes. Cochineal, it doesn't like cochineal.
I like that.
Which is
somebody came in the other day. This is just a side story about cochineal. But they did cochineal and then mixed it with like citric acid.
Yeah.
And it is
gets like bright red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
I had one colorway a while ago that was cochineal plus madder root plus citric acid.
Ooh.
And that's how I got that like really, really bright, like pinky coral.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore, I don't think. But that one was really fun. Yeah.
That was fun.
Citric, you can do a lot with natural dyes and adding modifiers. That's a topic for another day. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. What was the other? Okay, we covered stealing from artists. Oh, brain rot.
Yeah.
So AI is literally making people stupider.
Yeah.
People are just like unable to think critically anymore.
Yeah.
Because they are just not thinking for themselves because they're just listening to whatever the AI tells them to, which is not good. And this is like a tool of fascism.
Yes.
And like that's what the billionaires want you to do.
Yeah, because they want you to
own all these AI models.
Yeah.
Want you to be dumber. They want you to not be able to think for yourself. They want to be able to control you.
Yeah.
Another thing is that people are so incapable of critical thinking that they don't even realize AI search engines like Google cite incorrect information 60% of the time.
Yeah.
So AI is not only like not good for the environment, not good for artists, blah, blah. It's just wrong. Like it's not.
Yeah.
So when you go on Google and you get that little AI summary,
it's
not necessarily, it's wrong 60% of the time.
Yeah. And like, when it's, you don't know always when it's wrong, but like there are things that like
there are some very obvious things.
Yeah. This is not what I was going to say before, but I'm going to say this. Last night we were trying to order dinner and there's this Indian place in Quincy called Sara Punjab. This is a plug for Sara Punjab because they're so good. Yes. So we were gonna call, but before we did that, my dad just like put in Google like, is Sara Punjab Quincy open? And the AI thing was like, yes, they are open these hours, and then it was like, no, they are not open.
Yeah,
and so
it was like both answers.
It was like both answers, and then turns out they're moving to a bigger location. So big fans. I just want to have it for a few weeks.
Yeah. That's good for you. But yeah, no, it's like it's wrong.
But we had a call to get the right info.
You have to talk to a human.
Yeah.
It's wrong most of the time, and for some things it's really obvious because it'll give you both answers, or like it'll give you like a really dumb answer, like, can cats speak English? And it'll be like, yes, all cats speak English, or something stupid.
Yeah.
And
cats
that's like,
understand words or like whatever. Yeah.
But it's like, but sometimes it's not obvious, and that's the problem. Is people read that and they're just like, oh well, Google said it, so therefore.
Yeah.
And then they don't actually think of like, maybe I should double check that, or like see where they're getting that information from, or like what source they're citing. Because and like students these days are using AI to like write their essays, and it's almost like it's weird because at some point like there's all these AI checkers and everything, and so they have to then alter their essays to beat the AI checkers.
But then also the AI checker is AI,
right?
Yeah.
So it fails a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I've had AI checkers. I've written things completely on my own, totally original content, and the AI checker is like, this is 80% like AI, and I'm like, no, it's not. But then they have to change it so much that it's like, why don't you're doing more work? Just write it from scratch, like from the start.
Well, and I think there's like some of it that's like I do think like as a good enough student to get by.
Yeah.
AI probably would have been helpful for me in some like outlining ways, because like I can't write in it. Like I'm really bad at writing essays. Yeah. And so like that is how it would have been helpful for me. Sorry, I'm gonna have a drink of my coffee.
Well, and I do think and that's another way of like, it's okay to use some tools, some AI tools, I think.
Yeah, like
I don't really like using AI outlines myself, but I do know that some people like that. Like
I mean, I don't stuff. Now I'm not I don't use it for my blog or anything. Because you can just.
But then you can.
There are so many prompts online. You don't really need.
I was gonna say it's already there. Like
in college, I think there are some ways it would have been helpful, but we didn't.
But you can't just go to ChatGPT and be like, write my essay on the grapes of wrath. Like
it would have been
not gonna go
useless. And
but people are so.
Well, also like you still need to read the book. Like ChatGPT can write your essay, but if you didn't read the book, then you can't proofread the essay, and then you give it in, and it's like it's about the movie or like whatever.
Right? No, you can't. It's just not. But people aren't thinking clearly. Like they're just not examining.
Well, and I think like so I listened to a podcast on the plane yesterday that was really good, and like this is me regurgitating information. From a podcast, so like
from a human, not
from a human. But it was about like how we get propaganda, and like one of the tools of propaganda is like push notifications from news sources, which I get on my phone. I get them from like New York Times, Washington Post, NPR.
I've turned all those off.
And so the thing is, I turned them off yesterday. And like push notifications are like, because like the news you get, like a lot of the news you get is basically PR firms writing the news, sending it out. And then it's also like kind of this built up thing to like make you scared all the time.
Yeah.
And then like, so it's much more important to like be in community with people and like read news with people. Like it's important to like.
And discuss the news with people. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, I think like AI and these push notifications and like whatever are kind of designed to separate you from people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's another tool of fascism is to isolate people.
Because then you're not talking about stuff. Yeah.
Because that's the only way we're going way left wing here, but which is,
whatever. We are.
But that's how, I mean, communities are how you defeat fascism, right? Like you have to be in community with other people. And actually this was, I think I sent you a post about this a little while ago. The Commons Earth Instagram account has a whole post about how convenience culture, specifically talking about AI, is killing community.
Yeah.
Because, like people would much rather, I mean, this isn't specifically AI, but like people would rather, like order an Uber rather than like call a friend and ask for a ride,
or take the subway where you're with more people
and like experiencing the same things. Yeah. And so like with and you think you're being really individual because you're like, I don't need a friend's help. I'm going to call an Uber. And it's like, okay, well, who's driving your Uber? Like that's a person. Like you're not doing this on your own. Everything happens in a community. You could buy something off Amazon and be like, well, I'm fending for myself. And it's like, well, no, you're not. Cause who's packaging that product? Who's made it? Who's all this stuff. And so like,
but it like separates you.
It separates you from other people.
Well, and there are like ways in which
is a huge problem.
Like, and I think like this was like, I feel like I get into this pattern for me where like I really appreciate my alone time.
Yes. Me too. Oh, I'm an introvert. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually not an introvert, but I'm an extrovert.
But you still need
like downtime. And I love like a rot day.
Yeah.
And like getting things delivered and like watching TV and like staring at my phone and playing stupid little games on my phone and doing nothing and like not even knitting. Like I just lie on my couch with my cat.
Yeah.
And have a little drug. And like have a nice time. But
you can't do that every day.
You can't do that every day. And I like realize when I get into patterns where I do that and then like I don't like it as much.
Right.
But like I'm doing it because I'm like, well, this is a thing that gives me like momentary serotonin.
Yeah.
Versus like I feel really good when I'm like doing stuff and I like go out and see friends and then I have a rot day and then my rot day is like beautiful.
That's the thing is you need the balance of I do need my alone time, but you can't be alone all the time. And it really, I agree. I like to have, because it also helps me process like when I'm out with people and I'm experiencing a lot of stuff, I do get overwhelmed pretty quickly. And it is also hard. Like I process things very slowly. Like this is why I was always a terrible student because, I was a very good student, but I couldn't react immediately. I was a really good student actually.
I did not get into the school that you went to.
Well, my high school was also easier. Well, anyway, but I couldn't process information quickly. So like if a teacher asked something in class and like asked us to answer the question in class, I'd be like, oh no.
Oh yeah,
I
can't do that.
And think about this and process it and then come back and tell you my answer tomorrow.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And so I do the same thing with when I interact with people. I go out and like, take in all this information. And it's very overwhelming. And then I go home and I kind of have a rot day and I can process all that information and then come back to the community again and be like, okay, and
Yeah.
now we can
Yeah.
continue
And
talking
I think
about it.
yeah, I think like I feel like I have very strong feelings and opinions about things, but it's hard to find those opinions in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? You need like a little break to do that. But it's like my opinions are also formed by my community.
Exactly.
And like I don't have like I can't realize how I feel without talking it out with other people. Or like not realize how I feel, but like I can't it's hard to like process and give words to how I feel. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't like solve all the world's problems by yourself.
I mean, I think I could. This is my toxic trait is that I actually think I'd be.
You think you could save the world like on your own?
Well, no, my toxic trait is I think I'd be really good at being president.
I'd vote for you.
Thank you. You shouldn't.
I wouldn't.
And I actually don't think
I don't actually think I would.
Realistically, I don't think I could run for president because it's like so much work.
Well, no, and you people would be so mean to you.
People would be so mean, and I remember every single bad review.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Yeah, community AI. But I think it's a tool of fascism.
I think you need your community. AI is a tool of fascism. It's rotting our brains and making people stupider and less able to think for themselves, which is how they control you. So don't let AI ruin your brain.
Yeah.
I've said all I was really gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess AI. Like the hot take is that
I will say the one more thing. I will say the last thing I want to say. If you post an AI generated image on Instagram, that's an immediate unfollow.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't want to call anybody out specifically, but
okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call people out. I'm not going to call out anybody specifically.
Oh, okay. I was going to call out. Well, I'll just say it, and then we can cut it out if I decide to cut it out later. The Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. Yeah, I know. I think we can call it out because they took it down.
Yeah, they posted like an AI like generated image of a sheep.
Yeah.
Like holding a credit card or something, right? Because they were saying they were promoting that they now accept credit card for the ticket sales or whatever. And I was like,
I'm going to say
Sheep and Wool Festival. And you're telling me you don't have any pictures of sheep that you can Photoshop a credit card onto?
Like, it's so easy. You don't even need to know Photoshop.
Like, what do you mean? Well, because the point was it looked silly. It's a fucking sheep holding a credit card. Like, it's not. I was so mad.
Like, Canva you could do that on Canva with like clip art.
Canva, and I'm terrible at.
Yeah. I was going to also call out our friends H&H Americas who use AI in a lot of their website stuff, like all the hotel
pictures
stuff.
Of like
yarn in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Which it just didn't need. Like you just
don't need. And again, easy Photoshop. You have access to so many.
It's just
photos
like
and images.
Was like the header for the hotels page. Just give me a picture of a hotel. I
understand. Yeah, I understand like why I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there for yarn.
It's so unnecessary.
I also want to call out. I was kind of disappointed in a lot of yarn stores and a lot of designers and dyers. I thought on April Fool's Day, posted like their AI. They were bad jokes, I thought, like, or not like bad jokes, but like stupid jokes, like that were like, here's the store that I'm opening, and then it's like an obvious AI image, and like, why did you do that?
You could joke and be like, oh, I'm opening a yarn cafe or whatever, and just again, easy Photoshop, and I saw a lot of designers who were defending their decision to use AI by saying like, oh, well, I'm a one-woman business or whatever, and I don't have the time to do. And I was like, okay,
then don't do it.
Don't do it. First of all, if you don't have time to do it, don't do it. But also, like the time it takes to have created that image on Photoshop is it's negligibly more than typing a prompt into ChatGPT. Like it's not. It doesn't actually take. Well, especially for something that's not fucking real.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
It's a joke. April Fool's Day is pretty stupid anyway.
Here's
the thing. I did a cute little April Fool's Day joke that I stole from a friend who did it for her company.
I don't remember.
It was everybody's pets as their
dog. It was the new your new employees
and it was everybody's pets.
Pictures of pets. That's funny. That's cute.
Yeah, and that was not AI. I mean, that was Canva, but it was like literally
you just take pictures of people's pets.
Yeah,
and just
Canva had. Like I pay for Canva.
Yeah.
I used like a Meet the Team template on Canva.
Graphic, right.
And just plugged in like our colors and
logo
and whatever and font, and then put
put pictures of people's
Yeah.
pets. It's so easy.
And then I Googled did pet job titles, and there was like a list on Reddit of pet job titles.
Yeah.
And that's it. And like, it didn't take me any time. It was a delight to make.
It was a delight to see.
It was fun. Everybody had a good time.
I loved it.
I just think like April Fool's is so stupid anyway.
Right.
Be better.
Don't just do it better. Just be better. Yeah. So anyway, I will say if I see AI, like I unfollowed everybody who did that doll trend.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to see that in my feed.
Yeah. I don't want that in my life.
I want to see
I
real
actually might
images
not have.
that people.
I don't always unfollow, but that's just because
Well, it depends on the person. Like I didn't unfollow Marilyn Shiva Wool or like HH Americas. But,
yeah. Well, and I also like the store Instagram. I do differently than my personal Instagram.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I don't even use my personal Instagram anymore.
My personal Instagram is like that's personal. My personal Instagram is where I would unfollow the store one. Sometimes I did though. It depended on the person.
Right. Especially if it's somebody I didn't really care about anyway. I was just following because like obviously if it was like a friend or somebody I'm close to, I'm not just gonna unfollow them. I would talk to them about it. But
be like, hey, this
sucks. Like this is not great. But that's my thoughts on AI.
The societal impact of it is a problem.
It's just a problem, and it needs to be, I think we need to be more conscious of its impact. Yeah. I think we need to, maybe that's my main thing. It always comes back to intentionality for me. Yeah. You have to like think about what's happening and why it's happening. And if you recognize like, yes, I am using ChatGPT to write my email headers and that's all I'm doing. It's all still my original content. I'm not stealing from artists, blah, blah, blah. Great. If you're just sort of like, ooh, this fun new tool that everybody's using, let me make a dumb doll image. Yeah. And just not really thinking about it or like examining the impact that it's going to have on your community and the sort of global societal impact of it. Like that's not good. You should just think critically about things. Yeah. Which you can't do if you get stuck using AI all the time.
Yeah. Like it's really important for your brain.
You need to exercise your brain.
Yeah. It matters.
Go do a crossword.
Touch grass.
That door was loud.
Well, there's people
people here. Jesus.
And the other stores. You won't believe it.
Almost like we're in a community. Anyway, I think that's probably it for now. I have a really good mundane hot take. It's not even mundane, it's relevant to our show. Do you have a hot take?
Oh my god, I came up with one and I forgot it. Tell me yours.
Sarah, this happens every week.
I know. Okay, here's my hot take. Having flown to Ireland.
Oh, okay, yes. Yes. Do I know what it is? Maybe.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've got a lot of hot takes about Ireland. I have like so many feelings. This is just like an extra thing. I have been very radicalized already on like Irish stuff and like Irish history and colonialism and all that stuff. And the Troubles that weren't troubles, they were a war. But which our tour guide said at one point we took a bus to Giant's Causeway. Anyway. And he kept going, you've heard about the Troubles. They weren't troubles, they were a war.
I know, it's such a silly term for like a huge global
thing,
conflict
really
that affected a lot of people. Yeah. Anyway.
So I have a lot of hot takes about that, but I think those are a deeper topic. But my other hot take is, so I was getting a tattoo, and it was Tattoo Like a Girl Club, and there was a man in there before me, and he was so annoying. He was late, so my tattoo was late. I was like fighting with my mom, the only fight we got into because we were both like not communicating with each other. But I blame this man for this because he was late. It would not have been a fight. So my hot take is that if something's called Tattoo Like a Girl Club,
it should be for girls.
Cis heterosexual men should not be allowed.
Yeah, not allowed. Especially even if they're allowed, they should have a very, very short leash. Yeah. So if you are late, you're out. Yeah. Or if you say one word, you're out. If you say things to people tattooing, like, no, you drop something, it's your smile, which he did say. That's the grossest thing I've ever heard. It was so gross. He was so annoying. He was hot. So he had one. That's not an excuse. It's not an excuse, but you can't be a dick. No, even if you're hot. Even if you're hot, it was. And say to him, we made fun of him the entire time after he left. Of course you did. But we did also talk about how hot he was. So tell me your hot take. Okay, so my hot take is much less controversial. I was doing the New York Times mini crossword yesterday, and the clue was like wool sweaters, and the answer was itchy.
Rude. Here's something else to say.
Rude. Fuck you, New York Times. I mean, we already knew they had no journalistic integrity, but but that was rude.
That was really rude. We were on so we spent like one day in Ireland visiting my cousins who have a sheep farm, and I didn't even see their sheep. I saw their cows. My cousin is less enthusiastic about sheep than I am, but they're like meat sheep. And then he's like, they're not even soft. And I'm like, but they could be. You don't even know. But we took a bus trip to Giant's Causeway.
Yeah.
And we drove through a lot of sheep farms because it's Ireland. And there was like this woman in front of us who was a real talker. She talked, it was like three sisters. It was very cute. It was like three sisters and their mom on a trip together. But this woman did not, she got on the bus, she started talking, and she did not stop talking until I think I heard her talking like as I walked away from the bus at the end of the night. But she was like, all those sheep have really, all the wool is like really scratchy, all this stuff. And I was like, that's not true.
I don't know what you're talking
about. And I was like sitting behind her, like knitting these socks. And I was like, these are non-superwash. They're merino, but they're super soft. And also I wanted to be like, there's so many other sheep wools. And like, there is scratchy wool. And like a lot of those,
there's also really soft
Aran
wool.
Sweaters are scratchy.
A lot of those.
But also, they're like meant to be worn over things to keep you warm.
It's outerwear
from the sea.
You're not supposed to wear it next to skin. That's the thing that people don't realize about like Shetland and like Icelandic wool. Like those are it's all outerwear. Yeah, it's not meant to be cozy. But if you want something, anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
but Ireland is also, they're doing a lot of work to do like breed stuff and separate the breeds and do more breed specific wools.
And also, so it's less of like a blend.
Totally off topic.
Yeah, we are.
We should probably
anyway, well, whatever. I was just seeing if there was anybody at the door. Tell me.
Do you have anything to promote?
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask you the same question. I Knit in Public Day is the 14th. We're going to have of this month. When will this come out? Next week?
Right before the 14th, actually.
Okay, so we're gonna just have like an all-day sip and stitch. I am planning on doing a lemonade bar.
Ooh.
I am encouraging people to bring baked goods.
Yum.
If it's nice out, we'll sit outside. It's also Boston Pride, which literally happens every single year. And I wish somehow that everybody would coordinate with each other.
They're not going to.
But come to that where the Lord of the Rings collection will come out eventually. There actually are pictures now. It's coming soon.
I can't wait for the Lord of the Rings.
I have to order a little bit more yarn for it. So we'll probably have samples by Knit in Public Day.
Nice.
And photos up, and then some more a little bit afterwards.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Cool. Well, I have actually a little collaboration that I'm doing with you later this month. Well, we're going to announce it later this month. And we're going to announce the rules later this month, and then it's going to start on July 1st. But we are doing a Christmas in July make-along. Yeah. And we're going to work out the details. We haven't really done that yet. But it's going to happen. I'm going to have a whole new Christmas collection coming out on July 1st. Yeah. And then it's going to have like little mini stockings and little ornaments and some Christmas crackers and some other fun stuff. And so, that's all coming out on July 1st. And then we're going to do a knit along. Yep. And a Christmas in July party. Yeah. We're going to have a Christmas party. Which is so fun. I think we might have some BFC Christmas yarn. Yay. We'll also have a lot of really stocking up on our like self-striping Christmassy sock yarn. Yes. So we'll have all of that. Amazing. Yeah. Cool. Is that it? I think that's it. So follow us, like and subscribe. Yeah. Leave a comment, shoot us an email, send us a Ko-fi. Tell us you love us. Be nice or be mean, who cares? You can tell us that you hate our opinions as well. Yeah, that's valid. We can have a discussion. I will say you posted that one clip that got kind of blew up. Yes, about pattern sales, and we got some comments. Yeah, and I'm enjoying them. It's very interesting. I don't respond as much, We're having good conversations.
But you are good at responding. I respond a little bit. I read everything.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't respond because some of my responses are just like, fuck you. Which
I'm a little more diplomatic, I guess.
I think this
but
is
I'm
like,
also a pattern designer. So on that particular topic, coming from me, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. You have your opinions aren't more valid than
not more important. Just I'm more used to talking about it. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, please do discuss and all of that, and we will
see you next time.
See you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.